Welcome back to Tyler's Retro Reviews with Backlash 2004 review. I already mentioned what next week's review will be. Spring Stampede 2000. So there's that. So I already told you that back in the Dumpster Fire video on my main channel. This is the fall show from WrestleMania 20. Oh, for the Raw side, that is. Because the SmackDown fall show is Judgment Day 2004, which you will see that next month with Eddie Guerrero and JBL with the sickening blade job. But anyways, this show did bounce from WrestleMania 20. So I did review the road to WrestleMania 20 from Royal Rumble to No Way Out to WrestleMania 20. So you already know what that was. So yeah. This was, like I said, a strong pay-per-view after WrestleMania 20, but yeah. April 18th, which is coincidentally, the recording of this video is April 18th, the 20th anniversary of this pay-per-view. It's a Raw only exclusive pay-per-view at the Rolex Place in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. So yeah, there's that. Before what am I trying to say? Before we talk about this, the first instance of the WWE draft happened. I mean, yeah, I know 2002 had that draft, but it was not like we see nowadays. This was the first instance of it. They didn't do it again until 2007. Yeah, the less I talk about 2007, the better. And then 2008, and then 2009, 2010, 2011, and then they did it again until they split the brands again, and basically, yeah. I'm not going through everybody who got drafted, but the ones that are notable from Raw were Shelton Benjamin, so the World's Greatest Tag Team is split up. Edge was drafted to Raw, which he did came back on that Raw episode, but the SmackDown ones, like Rob Van Dam was drafted to SmackDown, and then the one notable one from the Raw side was Paul Heyman got drafted to Raw, but Paul Heyman said, "Screw you, I quit." Yeah, Paul Heyman was not going to work with Eric Bischoff. So yeah. On the SmackDown side, I mentioned, Rob Van Dam got drafted to SmackDown. But however, one infamous one that got drafted to SmackDown but didn't show up at all was Triple H. I mean, he did get a WWE Exchange match against Eddie Guerrero, but we all know Triple H was not going to SmackDown at this point in 2004. But come on! So, as a result of that, Booker T and the Dudley Boys went to SmackDown. And as a result of Paul Heyman quitting, we'll mention that when I talk about Judgment 2004 next month, okay? But yeah. So we start off with Shelton Benjamin, who got two big victories over Triple H. He had defeated Ric Flair, who was one half of the World Tag Team Champions with Batista, who they defeated Rob Van Dam and Booker T on that episode of Raw where they did the draft. And the result of that, Booker and Rob Van Dam got moved over to SmackDown. Well, there was a trade basically with Booker T and the Dudleys. Which, why couldn't they just draft the Dudleys and Booker T on SmackDown instead of whatever? It was actually a fun, really good opening match. Gee, what was Shelton Benjamin doing at that? Unfortunately, nothing. Although he did get an Intercontinental title win at Taboo Tuesdays. So yeah. A 7 out of 10. My problem with this show was Most of these matches had some odd finishes. But yeah. And then Jonathan Coachman defeats Tajiri. Tajiri was moved over from Raw, who was drafted to Raw. And what was his first program? Jonathan Coachman, the coach. All it was Tajiri hitting the coach with green mist, which I was totally fine with because the mist should be saved for Japanese wrestlers only. But this match was shit. A 1 out of 10, I'll give it. Anyways. Then we get a handicap match. This feud continued after WrestleMania. So, Christian beat Jericho. Trish turned on Jericho. And then this match happened. So Chris Jericho defeats Christian and Trish Stratus in a not that bad of a handicap match, but this feud would be on hold in the after the cage match because Christian got hurt in that cage match, and this led to the debut of fucking Tyson Tongo. A 6 out of 10. It could have been a lot better, basically. Also, this was the start of the Eugene ties. During the show, he was in the women's locker room, and yeah, William Regal was trying to yeah. Yeah, that was weird. Speaking of women, we get the next match for the Women's Championship. Victoria defeats Leah to retain the Women's Championship. I mean, this was a fine match. It could have been a little better, basically. A 6.5 out of 10, I'll give it. And then afterwards, Gail Kim and Molly Holly, who was still bald after WrestleMania, by the way. If you see that video, a review of that. The remaster of it. Yeah. That happened. And then we get the two best matches on the night. The hardcore match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship, where Evolution is banned from ringside. This feud started technically in the summer, where Randy Orton punted Mick Foley down a bunch of stairs. And then the feud technically started the night after Armageddon 2003, where Mick Foley did not want to wrestle Randy Orton. And then Mick Foley made an appearance at the Royal Rumble. And then the thing went to WrestleMania, where it was the Rock and Sock Connection versus the three members of Evolution, which were Randy Orton, Batista, and Ric Flair. And then this is the blow off of this. Mick Foley became Cactus Jack for one night. In this case, Randy Orton defeats Cactus Jack to retain the Intercontinental Championship. A blood fest, basically. Cactus Jack had the Barbie barbed wire baseball bat. But basically, Orton came out with a weak looking 2x4 with barbed wire. I mean, then there's the spot where Cactus Jack had Mr. Socko and Barbie, basically the barbed wire baseball bat. And he was gonna light the barbed wire baseball bat on fire, but then Eric Bischoff said, if you set it on fire, the pay-per-view gets cut. But basically, yeah. Then there was the thumbtacks. Randy Orton was going to RKO Cactus Jack on the thumbtacks. Jason Triple H penetrating Cactus Jack on those at Royal Rumble 2000 by taking Cactus Jack reverse, but Orton went on to the thumbtacks. Then Cactus threw Randy Orton off the Backlash stage and shoved some referees, jacked them and Chad Patton, and then Cactus Jack elbowed him, and then Randy Orton hits him with the Barbie and then RKO's him on the barbed wire baseball bat for the victory. This is the match that made Randy Orton the top guy, basically. And at SummerSlam, he won the World Heavyweight Championship. Yeah, but this is one of the best matches of the night. I have to give this a 10 out of 10, basically. But unfortunately, the next match had to follow this up. This was also billed as a number one contenders match, basically. The Hurricane Rosie, you may know him as Roman Reigns' brother, who unfortunately passed away in 2017. Defeats Lawrence' sons of Rob Conway and Sylvain Grenier. This match unfortunately had to follow Randy Orton Cactus Jack. For some reason, Eugene got involved. At least Hurricane Rosie won. I don't think they got their tag title opportunity. I think the next night on Raw. I have no idea, really. 3 out of 10, I'll give it. And then the semi-main event. Edge defeats Kane. Not great, I'm just being honest here. Edge had a cast in this match, and if he uses the cast, he will be suspended. Yeah, really, Kane, after losing to The Undertaker again at WrestleMania, he did get a World Heavyweight title match against Benoit at Bad Blood. Unfortunately, he went into that infamous storyline with Lita, Matt Hardy, Gene Snitsky, Edge, and then it went to Matt Hardy and Edge. Yeah, I have to give this a 5 out of 10. I mean, it was okay, but not that great. But then we get the main event. This was the rematch from WrestleMania 20. It was a triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Chris Benoit defeats Shawn Michaels and Triple H to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. Michaels got booed in Canada because Shawn's history in Canada, although Backlash is in Edmonton, what Shawn did was in Montreal, yada yada yada. Is this great as WrestleMania 20? Not really, but still a great match. Benoit made Shawn Michaels tap out to the sharpshooter. Yeah. I still give this a 10 out of 10 also. I mean, not the best one. I still think the WrestleMania one was better than this one. But I don't know. Benoit did get a great ovation in his actual hometown, but the first image of his, this whole, they did a video package of Benoit returning to Edmonton, and then they show him in his arena. It kind of reminds me of his DVD that came out around this time. But yeah. Backlash 04, it's kind of funny that Backlash is a month away, and I did a Backlash review. Overall, it was a solid show. Yeah, I have to give this a 7 out of 10. I mean, this was around a time there was no Goldberg, there was no Stone Cold, there was no Brock Lesnar. You know, those guys were gone around this time. Austin Wood did came back the following year for WrestleMania 21 with Roddy Piper. Brock, unfortunately, will not come out until 2012, and then Goldberg will not come out until 2016. But, you know. Now, I already mentioned what the next review is. Spring Stampede 2000, the reboot of WCW, yada yada yada. Uh, that's the next review. So, tomorrow will be my SmackDown review. I will be there, of course. And Saturday, I'll be on the main channel, by the way. Saturday will be the Tom and Jerry movie review, and then Sunday will be the open season video game review also. And then we'll go from there. So like this video, comment below, subscribe to this channel right here, and click the notification bell. As well as my main channel. Subscribe and click the notification bell on that one also. And I'll see you next week for Spring Stampede 2000. And I know James from Weird Pro Wrestling's gonna do that also, but fuck it. Whatever. Bye-bye.